Jason Cuddy says this can't carry on. Well, look, it's less than 6 months ago that this club won the Club World Cup, and we all suspected that it might be a tough season because of how much they've been through during the course of the summer. But when you look at it now, Andy, all the spending and the players they've got, the quality, they're ahead of Manchester United on goal difference and just 2 points clear of Sunderland and Everton. 7 points in the last 21.
Yep.
And Man City away next.
Correct.
Is this position in question?
I think it is. I think he's under big pressure now, and I think he knows it. I happen to also believe, Jeff, that Enzo Maresca has done a decent job since he's been at Chelsea, honestly. Because I don't think it was ever going to be straightforward for any coach coming through the door, never mind one as young as him and with limited managerial experience. And I thought he'd done okay, but he's very much up against it now. And you just always get the feeling with managers, when it starts to go, when the slide, when a team gets on the slide as much as perhaps Chelsea are appearing to, there's an inevitability about it. I hate using the term a dead man walking, and he's not there yet, but that's often a phrase that comes up when managers are at the end of their tenure, really. And I think he's in the last phase of his. I just, and again, I was just listening to Scott Minto there, exasperated at again, perhaps some of the selections, some of the players left out, etc. Pedro Neto on the bench last night. Was João Pedro, was he on the bench?
Yeah, he left Pedro Neto and João Pedro on the bench. He left Reece James out as well, brought him on at half-time. And towards that's more understandable.
Understandable with Reece James. I get that. But I just think at the moment it seems to be going against Enzo, and I think he is battling hard now to try and turn it around and save his position. Yeah. I do.
And also, the club's hierarchy are there, and they're hearing the boos when Cole Palmer's substituted. They're seeing Cole Palmer's reaction when he was substituted in the previous game. They're hearing the boos at the end of the game last night. And, of course, it's only a couple of weeks ago that Enzo Maresca has, what we all assumed, has had a sort of cloaked criticism of the hierarchy there, saying it's his worst 48 hours ever, and things like that. You do feel everything's building, don't you? But what were the expectations, realistically, of Chelsea at the start of this season?
Top four probably with what I would imagine discussions.
Which 2 points off.
Exactly, and they're still involved in that. The discussions with the coach at the start of the season would have been, we need top four. We must have top four. When you trade in with players as often and as much as the frequency that Chelsea do, they need the finances, they need the money. They've got to do that. So look, it's always a tricky scenario, I think, particularly for some of the younger coaches. Can you imagine how many voices there are around Enzo Maresca at the bridge right now in terms of do this, do that? Maybe you need to think about this. He's got sporting directors, technical directors there that will all be throwing their two bobs worth.
And should they be the ones, rather than us focusing on Enzo Maresca, should they be the ones that are asking questions of, should we be looking at their recruitment, for example?
Correct.
Alessandro Garnacho has come in. Jamie Gittins' wingers have come in, who've not made a real impact.
Flaky, in and out. And
Liam Delap's not made an impact.
No, he hasn't. He's had injury problems. The accountability of sporting directors, I think, has always been a point, because up to probably this period now, this era now, Jeff, I think for years they could select 3 or 4, 5, 6 different managers, technical directors, sporting directors. That's not the case now. I don't think that's the case now. I think when they identify managers and players now, they are really accountable for it. And again, if a manager goes, it won't be long before they make those changes as well. I just mentioned to you that Arne Slot actually has axed the set piece coach.
Yes.
Because Liverpool's numbers from set plays have been poor, and all of a sudden someone's gone out the door. Wouldn't have happened a few years ago, that, but it's starting to be, and quite right. Listen, I think that's the way it should be, because a lot of times coaches don't actually buy the players that walk through the door. There's a lot of times you can tell by the way they talk about certain players. Remember Gus Poyet when he was up at Sunderland?
Yeah.
When he, famously said, I don't buy the players. You're talking to the wrong person here. Someone else does that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that.
I'm sure that's certainly the case at Chelsea, isn't it? Enzo Maresca's not going out there and buying the players.
And sorting loan deals out either and everything. That's not what he does. He's got to just focus his mind on the...
So you're so reliant on other people's performances.
And I think when you're a younger coach, when you haven't got the mileage under your belt, that's when I think it can become particularly difficult. And I do feel Enzo's in the last phase.
By the way, sorry, Andy. Yeah. I don't know who the set piece coach is at Chelsea, but he shouldn't look at the papers this morning reading about Liverpool because they conceded from 2 set plays again.
Did they?
Last night.
Yeah.
Both from Semenyo's.
I saw the long throw, a flick on at the near post, and then they're all sleeping at the back post. I saw that. Yeah. So
they both came from those long throws.
And I think now, listen, in football, there are people that are enjoying their moment as these added coaches in and around the first team. They have to be held accountable. They have to be, and so that's the nature of the beast. But Enzo needs some results, and he needs some pretty quickly, Jeff, if he's going to, avoid the heat.
Yeah, completely agree. Jill's texted, says, a friend of mine, PE teacher, is now 64. He started a walking football group. The youngest is 56, and the oldest is 80. Time for you yet, Jeff. Thank you very much indeed for that, Jill. She says, come and join us in the North Sea. Yeah. I'll send my representative, Andy Townsend. Thanks, Jill. Let's take a look at the next hour of the show, shall we, with Benchmarks, part of the Travis Perkins.